Hello, Victoria. For the Feedback Rally 3, I've decided to use one of my favorite Google extension add-ons called Screencastify. What it does is it allows me to record audio and video as well as um, let me talk to certain screens. It definitely takes a lot more work, but I think the effort's well worth it as students tend to find these types of feedback methods more personal. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to do this in one take, as it definitely is time consuming. But I apologize up front if there's any background noise, because as you can see, I'm sitting on my porch. And please bear with me as if I happen to, struggle through or fumble over some of my words while thinking. I have no script. I'm just taking a risk and diving right in. And, again, I'm trying to model this type of feedback and risk taking. All right, so let's dive right in. For your summative task, your Canva, it number one, it has a fantastic title, which I think I mentioned, which I absolutely love. I think it captures the essence of this course and definitely, in particular, this LE. Um, your Canva also demonstrates your understanding of all the different topics and elements, in particular, assessment that we discussed in this module. All the key points are right there. I could definitely ask you to use this as an exemplar because it highlights what's expected and a method in which to demonstrate your knowledge. I'm kind of stretching here, but if I were to make one suggestion, it would be to include some of actual maybe quizzes like Kahoots or some of the other rubrics that you created, or other methods in which there are actual like examples of this. That might be a little bit more helpful for somebody if you were to share this with it and they wanted to see these tools in action. But again, this is a great task, and it demonstrates your learning and all the topics that we discussed this LE very, very well. Okay, moving on. I know that you weren't able to participate in the Flipgrid, but I do encourage you to go in and to check it out. This type of method can be really useful. I like to use it with my students. What I'll do is I'll post a question. It's usually, it could be like a problem that I want them to maybe try to solve, or maybe like an assignment that I want them to reflect on. They can also, do what we did here, and they can give each other feedback. So I do encourage you to check this out. Again, I think some learners will, really appreciate and enjoy the audio response. Versus, having to write it. So, again, it's an option that you might want to explore further. Okay, what else did I want to say? Okay, so here, I'm just looking at all of your engagement. I noticed that you were extremely active, and there was tons of questions asked of you, and you went back and you made sure to, like respond to all of them. I think that shows, that's a great sign that shows that you are committed to the learning, and you can see the value in collaboration. So I do want to point out that I appreciate that. I know things kind of tailored out for you towards the end because you were done and others weren't, but you were very consistent in your participation in discussions, which is appreciated. Okay, other things I wanted to talk about. Yep, here was great. Okay, so here's the one I was going to talk about. As I was reading this, your post for the 21st Century Skills, I found myself, agreeing with many things that you were suggesting. It's bobbing my head. Yep, she totally gets it. So the one point that I was going to talk about that I think is really critical, and that's where you say down here, I think students can benefit from teacher direction and suggestions for using certain digital resources for certain assignments. Also, there are so many ways for students to produce, assignments. That's suggesting certain ones can limit using this same software for every assignment. All right, so this makes me think of a couple things. One, it definitely, I think it's very important that the teacher does model and provide, effective strategies for using all these available tools. Students having the choice to, choose the one that works best for them is definitely key. But as we get into, more, critical thinking type, problems or assignments, I think it becomes even more important that we as teachers, we model how to, effectively use it. So we ourselves, have to create those. And again, it's, what we talked a lot about, about the developing of the success criteria. My neighbor's walking over. And so, this is really key here too. So, I think this plays a role too. So great points about this. Okay, so I'm going to end up. My last bit is, I hope you saw the email today about the 2 virtual classrooms coming up. If you can attend, it would be great. I know the feedback's been really, really positive for them. My intent with this is to try to, encourage a nice, smooth, finish. And if we can do some tasks together, that might, make the learning that much more stronger, and make the finish of the course that more easy. So if you can attend, it'd be great. I'd love to have you. If you have any questions, please let me know. And again, you're doing a fantastic job of completing your task, in a very, very reflective way, as well as, engaging in discussions. All of this is very positive. That's contributing to the amazing course I think we're having. Okay, all right, Victoria, that's it for now. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to email me. Okay, have a great day. Bye.